Hello everyone, I'm going to start recording for like 10-15 minutes. I'm going to try to rattle off stuff really quick, so depending on how long this video is depending on how much I was able to fit in this amount of time. It's getting near the holidays, I might not be uploading a lot, so sorry if you don't see uploads from me. It's not me trying to fall off YouTube or be done with YouTube or washed up or anything like that, but I'm going to take a little bit of this time to sponsor my Discord. Go join my Discord. We're doing events and stuff, and you could win free Discord Nitro and free XP for the leveling system in our Discord. Just go down in the description below, click the Discord link, join the Discord, and you could win free Discord Nitro in terms of contests. Right now, the current contest is a drip contest, so post your best drip. It goes on until December 30th, so go down in the description below and join that. If you don't like the drip contest, don't worry. There'll be other contests in the future as well, so make sure you're joining the Discord. Having said that, let's get right into it. This comment right here by Flare DX, I did look at some of these comments beforehand just to double check them. He says a lot here, but I'm just going to focus on this part. He says, Delirious may have done some things to cause certain concerns, but at least he was willing to bury the hatchet and carry on with life. Ohm, on the other hand, is going to crazy extremes to get simple vengeance due to what happened in the past. Now, maybe not, but the reasonings now is not lining up with your comment. Delirious did not just do one oopsie or anything. He did a lot of things bad since he may have wanted to bury the hatchet. Maybe at one point he did with Ohm. Maybe that was the case. But as of now, Delirious has done a lot of bad things. He's made alt accounts. He said some really nasty things to Ohm on Twitter and on YouTube. He did admit to one of the allegations, but kind of said it happened to this way instead of the way Ohm was saying it. Again, we'll have to find out what happens in the civil case and everything, but Ohm does have every right, if he wants to sue Delirious, and I'm sure Delirious will countersue, and it's just something that was gonna happen. Ohm really making it all about him and not those so-called victims. I don't really think that that's the case. There are many times where I think Ohm has made it about himself rather than the victims. If you really cared about the victims, he should have spoke about the victims. He should have posted the whole victim videos and a video on his main YouTube channel to get the most attraction and the most views, if you really cared that much about it. So there are certain points where I do think Ohm makes it about him rather than the victims, but him going after Delirious in a civil suit for defamation and emotional distress and affecting finances and stuff like that, I don't think that that's making it about him and not the victims. I think he has every right to sue Delirious for whatever he wants. Whether he wins or loses will be on him and his own actions. I do think he does have a good case with the defamation because Ohm made the alt accounts, started harassing him, did cause him emotional distress. The things that Delirious was spreading around on these alt accounts, the fact that Delirious was doxing Ohm on some of these alt accounts, the nasty stuff that he was saying kind of proves malice and all this other stuff, and they were both certainly mad at each other, but whether or not Ohm did any of the things he did because of malice or not is something that Delirious and his attorneys are going to have to argue if they're going to countersue. So again, I don't really think he's trying to take away from the victims, but Ohm definitely does do that sometimes and has before in the past, in my opinion. Tiffany here says something, but I'm going to focus on a certain part, saying, honestly, the sponsorship thing is literally either the fans who are pissed off or they went on Twitter and or YouTube. So Tiffany ends up sitting here saying that the whole sponsorship's different. I'm going to explain it real quick. Again, you should check out this video because you would get a lot of information if you go to this video, and you would kind of understand some of these comments as well. I should have said that in the beginning, but my bad, sue me. Ohm's attorney was trying to argue 2 points in terms of these two things that I'm trying to bring up. Delirious affected the sponsorships Ohm got, and Delirious affected the collabs Ohm could have gotten, and that does affect the money he makes because it affects the views and what people want to watch and XYZ. Having said all of that, it could just be fans doing this, fans of Delirious's, fans of the Van Oz crew. It could be people who watched me or watched Crows of Judgment or Mr. Sen, Chilled Venom. It could have been, we don't know who really did these things. Ohm is claiming that Delirious had a direct part to play in these, and that's what him and his attorneys want to go after, but have we really seen any sort of evidence for this? We haven't. I don't know if Ohm has, but he certainly hasn't released anything, showed anything, but he is trying to argue this point. I think the sponsorship thing definitely could have been fans. I think if Delirious is just talking to his friends about it and his friends turn out to be content creators, I think that's an easy point for Delirious and his attorneys to argue back. Hey, I was just talking to my friends, okay? I was venting to them. I wasn't sitting here trying to affect sponsorships with them. Anybody can associate with Ohm. I don't care. I'm just playing games, focusing on my family and my friends. He wasn't really focusing on the family when Delirious had the alt accounts, but, you know, let's move on. So yeah, I don't know. Comment down below what you think. If Ohm and his attorneys are going after Delirious for ruining collabs with Ohm, I hope they go back throughout Ohm's history on YouTube and realize the guy has been kicked out of every group he's been involved in. So for this, I do think this is a good point for Delirious and his attorneys to argue. One of the points Ohm and his attorneys are arguing is that Delirious had a direct impact on certain collabs that Ohm could have had, which affected him financially. This is a very good point for Delirious and his attorneys to argue because he does have a history of not playing with certain groups and leaving and no longer associating with certain people, and it could be his decision or others' decision. Delirious could argue that anybody could have stopped hanging out with him for whatever reason. Nobody wants to really associate anybody who gets involved in these sort of situations, and Ohm got involved on his own choice. So therefore, a judge or a jury or whoever could sit here and argue, hey, you chose to get into this type of work and fight this type of battle, you're going to get the consequences of it. It's like when people are hating on commentary channels. Well, what'd you expect? You're a commentary channel. And Ohm's kind of drifted that way on the amount of drama that he talks about on a daily basis. So yeah, of course, certain people aren't going to want to associate with him. And I think this could be a good point for people to bring up. Also, the thing that he had with Ritz and all that, direct line of proof right there. He was just sick of the DMs from Ohm, posted it on Twitter, said, leave me alone, I want nothing to do with you, and there's no tie to Delirious on that. Yes, Delirious posted something on his Discord saying, hey, you should go look at Ritz's Twitter or whatever, but that doesn't mean he affected Ritz in any sort of way. So again, I think Delirious could win on this point. Hope it's worth it, Ohm. If Ohm loses this case, then his platform is done. Disagree, but I'll mention that in a minute. Ohm truly hated Delirious for whatever reason, and it's sad. I don't know about Rezo, but I think you mean reason. And there's many reasons for Ohm to hate Delirious. Initially, no idea. It's between them. Don't know much information about that. But now, made many alt accounts. Delirious harassed Ohm. Delirious has said a lot of nasty things about Ohm. I mean, Ohm said bad things about Delirious too, but it's a back and forth on that point. But Delirious did make alt accounts. Ohm did not, as far as we know. Delirious used these alt accounts to dox and harass Ohm. So yeah, there's many reasons. There's more than that. I'm just not going to get into everything because we have limited time and I want to get through as many comments as I can. So there's many reasons why, but is his platform done if he loses the case? Probably not. I would say unless Ohm is countersued by Delirious and they take a fortune out of him, maybe that'll affect him a little bit. If he ends up losing the case and it ends up going just, hey, you guys go your separate ways. You guys took your own losses, pay your own fees, blah, 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 blah. If that ends up being the result of the case and Ohm technically loses because he doesn't get anything out of Delirious, he'll be fine. I think Ohm is paid $25,000, $30,000, maybe more than that towards attorney fees. I assume it's under $100,000. I think Ohm can walk away from that just fine. Now, I do think he's had an impact on revenue from all this drama and blah, 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 blah. But again, it was kind of his choice to get involved in this. He probably would have never guessed a lot of the things that ended up happening. But again, he chose to get into it. He wanted to do what was right. So all of this has to be worth it. Every dime he lost and everything. If he's going to fight the moral argument, everything he has done and everything he has been given and thrown at and blah, 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 all of that, he has to say all of that is worth it. Because why is he still going? Why doesn't he just admit he's wrong and move on and say, hey, I'm no longer arguing all of this? He's not. Because again, if he really believes in the morals that he was going for, the morals that set him up to do this and had the choices be done by him, then every dime he's lost is worth it. Now he's just trying to recoup those and suing Delirious for whatever reason he wants. I just heard a rumor and a video that Ohm's lawyers just quit. Yeah, this video, apparently Ohm's lawyers quit. I don't know if there's an official reasoning out or what. Yes, Ohm's attorneys have switched. It's different people now or whatever, but I don't know if this is just switching out attorneys, Ohm getting rid of his attorneys, or the attorneys quitting. Attorneys aren't bonded by anything. It's kind of normal for sometimes attorneys to switch out and all this other stuff. It's not that big of a deal. It could be attorneys from the exact same firm, so it's like not that big of a deal if they did switch out or whatever. It could be help. He could have multiple attorneys, and right now this I have no idea. If the reasoning's out there that the attorneys quit themselves, then maybe you're right, and I don't know. But if there's no real reason out there, it could have been just attorneys being switched, and it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I have no idea. Is Ohm going for money or jail time? He's going for money right now. Than jail time. I think I have enough time for one more. Something I've been thinking recently is that what if somehow Ohm is right about H2O? What if H2O is actually a bad person and we never knew? I mean, I hope H2O is a good person and Ohm is just trying to get attention, etc. But you gotta wonder just what if? And if so, what would happen to H2O audience and his career? And again, I do think H2O is a great person. Thank you, Stick, for commenting that. That's a really good one to end on. And I really want people to sit here and pay attention to this comment in particular. And no, I'm not biased or anything. Sometimes people say that I'm biased towards Ohm, which go look through all my videos. I've literally made so many videos against him because I disagree with his actions or the things that he says, and that's the only reason why. I'm not trying to be biased towards one side or the other. This is a great mindset to have, is just think what if, but don't assume. I've made mistakes before where I've directly assumed something is true because most of it looks right, but until you have definitive proof, you should not just jump right into it. It could be a situation where Ohm didn't really know if everything was true, but he thought what if and went with that and assumed. And maybe Ohm did put a lot of allegations out there he might think it's true, might not think it's true, but definitely the way he's putting it out, we all think that he believes all of him 100%, and he must have some sort of evidence against it. And a lot of fans of H2O and just the crew in general have sided with Delirious. There's a lot of people who just don't like them both throughout it, and then there's a small group of people that are siding with Ohm. Overall, though, to think, what if this is all actually true? What happens if Ohm is telling the truth? This is a really good thing to think about, and think what if. But don't jump into anything right away and assume without proper evidence. My last video, I went over the initial filing. Whatever is in the initial filing that Ohm's attorneys and Ohm put out, all of that stuff was submitted. That is something that we can go off of, and we know that they are trying to argue this. And we can sit here and break down, yes, all of these things they listed in there are true. We have evidence. We have seen it online before. Delirious really did hop in my chats and say some really nasty things. Lizcats and Delirious admitted to some of the alt accounts. We know those things are true, but a lot of the allegations, a lot of the stuff that the authorities are dealing with that aren't so involved in the civil case, that's all stuff that we gotta wait, and hopefully we end up getting the truth someday. There are many, many stories about horrible people who do awful things to victims, and sometimes we never find out the truth about it all. But the people who have been trying to cover this and try to get down to the truth, many of the commentary channels who've sat down and tried to break all this stuff down and find the truth, and maybe some people do take sides right away. There are people who just straight up attack Ohm a lot. For whatever reason. He lies once, he does something bad once, he's automatically the bad guy maybe. And same with Delirious. They hear that the one allegation he admitted to is true, therefore they don't like Delirious anymore, and Delirious is the worst guy in the world. But again, it's probably best to just take a step back and be the spectator in all of this and see what ends up coming out of it. And that's what's going to happen probably for many, many, many more months. And that's what I'll be here for. If anything else ends up happening, you'll probably see a video on my channel about it. So make sure to subscribe because I ain't going anywhere anytime soon. But yeah, that was most of the comments. I don't have a lot of time. Holidays are coming up, but I will try to get more videos out for you guys. Make sure to go down in the description below and join the Discord. Go over there and try to get some free Discord Nitro. And yeah. Sorry I couldn't get more comments in. If you want me to get your comment in next time, just comment down below on this video or the previous video, and I'll make sure to go over it sometime. Should I live stream this? For anybody who's watching this late in the video, should I start live streaming these and reading comments out loud, or should I make videos about reading comments? Or is it kind of a waste of time making a video about reading comments if there's no actual drama happening? Should I save the videos just for the drama news and then the live streams for the comments? Would you guys even show up for a live stream of me reading comments? I don't know. Help me out down in the comments and let me know what I should do. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys all next time. Peace.